What happened? Ah. All right. Thank you, Bruce. How is everyone?
Nice.
Welcome, a face to Ancient Historia channel. Luke, how you going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing good, brother. Good to have you. Welcome to the YouTube community. Kind of blown up pretty quick there, doing some really good work. Awesome videos.
So the link is below in the description. If you haven't checked out the channel, go and give it a look, give it a subscribe and a like and all that good stuff. Share it around.
Shout out Tartarian Truth. Shem there doing some good work as well. I'm going to be doing a stream with him, I think, next week on free energy. He had Dustin Bushwhacking History in Buffalo on last night. We're going to have Dustin on next week as well. Great guy.
I didn't see that one. What was that about?
Going over just like a lot of
Buffalo stuff.
No, like just the general stuff of like John Levy's work, some of
Did you do a reaction video?
Whatnot and others, and then just talking about free energy and different theories of Antiquitech and stuff.
Nice. Theoria aphodosis, indeed.
Yeah, I'm going to have to remember I'm actually on this show. I feel like I'm just watching it.
You look like you've got lightsabers in the background, man. I keep thinking you're like Darth Maul or something.
Why would you assume I'm on the bad side, man? My name's Luke.
Well, because they're red.
They're red and you're in the red.
They are red. Change
So
the color quick. Change it to green or blue. And then
I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, it's there.
But if you put your hoodie on, then you'll definitely be Darth Maul. So there we go. Look at that. But my throat. Whose throat sounds coarse? Is that me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And thank you for staying up to do this with us, Luke. I guess it's probably 1:32 in the morning there already.
Yeah, it is. I will be going to bed right after this. But what a way to spend a Saturday night, right?
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
And you could be out clubbing. Just think, oh gosh.
Oh no, I might look young, but I'm too old for that.
Yeah, I know.
So you've been doing a lot of good videos and daily videos. You've been producing a high amount of quality content consistently, going through a lot of the different ancient books, like 300 to 500-year-old books of through the Tartarian area, as well as like world maps and stuff. And the first video of yours I saw a couple weeks ago now, maybe a month ago, of Antarctica, and the fact that there's all of these 1500s maps of Antarctica, but a lot of them have still Terra Australis connected to the Antarctic or the South, and then South America here is a lot bigger, and that there's this
Potato,
small
man.
passage between the two, connecting them. So, like, this is obviously this area of 500 years ago. These are maps from a prior copied in that era from these source maps of a prior time, a reset of when the water levels were either lower or well, yeah, it would have to be lower, obviously, as there's
Lower,
much
yeah.
larger land masses.
Well, what you'll actually
Sorry.
notice about those maps are printed by somebody, and then someone else has just colored them in. So you'll be able to find the same map, but loads of different versions of it with different colorings. So somebody was clearly printing the original things and handing them out to people to go and do. And then they'll have, different wordings on, like, my most recent episode, we're just talking about how Tenduk has this difference in dates. Like, one of them says J29, one of them says J290, one's I290. So
interesting, yeah. So they're all done basically. It's like they're putting out like a blank, like a photocopy, and people are going in and.
Well, yeah, it seems like people were doing them in
culturalizing it.
different languages. Yeah, like here's the French one. Go give that to the French people. Here's your Latin one.
Exactly.
Right.
But
So
I mean,
it's
the
like
Terra Australis. It's. I mean, obviously we can see it there. We've got Terra del Fuego, which is the land of fire, right? In apparently Antarctica that's frozen, and Papua New Guinea as well. I think it's on that side you're going to now, or is it maybe just New Guinea? But that's now an island, and that was part of the landmass too. So what it kind of looks like is that they're older maps. They're maps of the world as it was, and then with all the books that you've been looking at, Luke, it looks like they're out trying to remap the realm. Like, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
like
a lot of people have suggested that, which I've kind of seen this idea that they know something's out there, but they haven't quite got there.
Well, exactly. So the maps aren't quite correct, and so it takes them a couple of 100 years to sort of sort it out again.
Oops. Yeah, so if you go to the bottom of that map, the thing about this one that I'd say is like the most convincing is this South America bit, because obviously you can imagine maybe they were just thinking it was connected to Australia, maybe they were thinking it was this, but this bit at the bottom is South America. That's the easiest to check, and they have literally scouted.
Yeah, good point. We haven't made it there yet. Yeah, good point.
But yeah, they've done the whole bit. They've sailed around the whole of South America. They've gone around up to the north, but at some point they've neglected to go, by the way, guys, there isn't anything at the bottom of it.
Except giants, right?
Well, you know what I mean? You'd think that'd be the first thing they do. They come back and they correct the map and go, by the way, everyone's drawing maps with this huge thing at the bottom. It's not there. Don't bother.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Just think about sending ships there on a waste of a journey.
And especially when you can follow this land bridge to this place here.
They yeah, right. What island? Maybe that's New Guinea.
Like, what's this? The leftover of Lemuria or something? Like,
it's like if you look at all the names as well, like one of them is like the Desired Coast. So unless they were named all sarcastically, like the Land of Fire, the Desired Coast, but it doesn't really make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Unless it's an inside joke of that's just freaking a giant ice wall of God knows what that or like the inside joke that you have absolute hell before getting to the inner earth or new lands or whatever the heck's over there past it all too, right? How much are the elites, the ruling kings and monarchs going to allow the people to guess or know or ever figure out, right? So
this is the thing about all the people who say these are all fake, is they were all pretty much commissioned by the monarchs and that. So
and if they were fake, why would they be selling on rare maps for like 20,000?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Good point. Do you want me to share, BurnEye? I've got some more high definition.
I was going to say as well that the bottom of that one, I think the best name.
See, so this one here
has got to be the Sierra de Menades. Is the one I told you about, the mountain of like naked women, basically.
Yeah,
really?
Maybe it might be on this one.
Is that near the because there's also
It's
obviously
right down
Patagonia.
there, part of there.
Right.
And I just thought, like,
Yeah, the
imagine going to
naked
tell
women
your king
right at the tip
about
of
that.
South America, though, like so
Where it's supposed to be
enticing.
freezing.
Of why
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
they?
exactly. Why would you tell your king about that? You're going to get your head chopped off. The king turns up. There was no naked women.
Yep.
You're getting your head
Exactly.
chopped off if you come back and
Yeah,
tell the king
man.
there's a land of naked women when there isn't.
King takes
You
off for
better
a
be
party. He's
sure
gonna
there's a
be in
land of
No
naked
shit. Actually, that's a good point, Luke.
You know what I mean? If someone comes in and tells me there's a land of naked women, they better be sure before I get on my boat.
and take
Yeah.
9 months to get there.
See, and then this
After
next
9 months on
one,
a leaky boat, you would definitely want those naked women there, wouldn't you?
you can
you
see
imagine
that
the
they've
king
now
coming
got a
back, soaking
proper
wet and
shape
living?
and like scope of South America. And the you know, we got Brasilia
it's-
over here and whatnot starting to get more,
Canning
and like
Vale.
all the towns around it. But you still have Terra del Fuego right there.
They make that look like that was quite a skillful sail to make through, don't they?
Exactly.
It's pretty close, and yeah, that's the thing, right?
It
Heaps of
almost
towns
looks like a
down there.
Panama Canal, but on
And it's
the
almost like it's
opposite
moved.
side. So
And Brazil,
obviously
you see
further away
in
as
all
these
the old
like,
maps
have
too.
developed.
Like,
But what's
Brasilia,
interesting, it's something that I
moved.
didn't realize is.
Sorry, got a bit of a.
Sorry, no, it's the delay. You carry on, man.
No. I was just saying, you see Brasilia or on the old maps, and sometimes it's the side that bit there, and sometimes it's.
And what is this in
I've seen
here?
it as an island or as part of something else, but
What
I can't
is
remember
this
what
island city thing in the middle of
Brazil?
it?
Wow.
And all the
check
way
that out on Google
the
Maps.
water.
That's
the
something
water
else we should do.
definitely
Is sorry, Luke.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say we should start tracking these things on Google Earth. Like when we see things like that big circle, go and check it out and see what's there now.
Yeah. Speaking of John Levi that I mentioned earlier, what was that? Leylines.net? Was that the site reference that we did in that one episode that he had shared and showed?
Yeah.
We should try and see
that, but I couldn't get it to work. Let me check if I've got the link. It was something like that.
Yeah,
something Earth.
Something
Earth. Oh my God, I have so many links. You wouldn't know.
Is this the one?
Oh my God.
Was this the right site?
Star Forts, is that it? No, that's not it.
Sorry, they have it mislabeled.
So I'm looking through my links and I've got a lot of links. Oh my God.
I hope this is the right site.
Wow. Okay, I give up. I can't find it. That looks like it. So I've tried uploading onto it, but I couldn't get it working. But we can see if someone else has been able to. I think is it Explore Maps, and you can see what other people have uploaded.
Okay.
242 of you watching us at the moment. Thank you for being here. As we get through this, BurnEye, we'll get back to the show in a minute. Hello, Sherry Ives, John the Wandering Fool. I should be doing this, shouldn't I? I'm going to learn how to drive this machine one day. Holistic Media.
Yes.
George.
You've got her.
TW, CJDB. Hippie Shake, as usual. Hello. Johnny Man. Oh, to join now. Hello. Oh my God. Sorry, those comments are from a million years ago. Sherry Ives. Hello. Lucas. The new Christopher. Oh, 1990. What happened in 1989?
Data cannot be added. Developer did stupid thing.
Yeah, that's what I kept getting. So if you go to the Explore Map data, I think that shows you what other people have already uploaded, what actually works. But yeah, I couldn't get it working either. It's a bit of a bugger because it'd be so much easier because I was trying to line one up on Google Earth the other day and you know, I spent like an hour on it. It's just so hard to get them like in the right spot.
It doesn't want to work.
No. Go to explore map data, Bernie.
All right, back on Explorer.
In there. What have we got? Ley lines. So there's a few different things that you can see, but
interesting.
Lakers won the Super Bowl. Who are the what? Oh, 1980. Oh, okay. Oh, is that why someone had to be reborn in 1990? Isn't the Super Bowl football and the Lakers basketball? Or
Marco? It's football. Yeah, it's American football.
Lakers,
Super Bowl.
The Lakers are football team as well? Because
Lakers are basketball. Lakers are basketball.
So how did the Lakers win the Super Bowl in 1989, Chip? Hey? Well, I don't know about that. That sounds like a dodgy comment.
Ooh, we've got the pyramid lines of the world. Or what? Why is that going to British Columbia? Or Alaska? Weird. Oh, I think that's Alaska. Is this a pyramid in Alaska right here? This major center point? Crazy.
Oh, is it nighttime?
You got You got two different ley lines and the pyramid lines all connecting to this one spot.
See, that's the kind of stuff we need to investigate, isn't it? What's there?
It is.
We need a helicopter.
We do. We need a drone with a LiDAR.
Yeah, we need many things here.
Someone sends us intel, we just fucking parachute in, check for Tartaria.
It's on the opposite side of Elfin Cove. Oh, is it in the water?
Maybe there's tons of stuff under. And see, this is the thing is we know that the water was lower, so I wonder what's down there.
Aquaman.
And what's by Taylor Bay here? Man. That's pyramid lines and ley lines.
So what are these ley lines?
Ley lines and pyramid lines intersecting.
Oh, okay.
The reds are pyramid lines. The yellow and the white are a couple of ley lines.
So is a pyramid line, is that like a line that's extrapolated out from the angles of the side of a pyramid?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
I believe so.
Think how many pyramids it's not telling you about, though.
Yeah, I think this is just the major ones, obviously.
Actually, in my video today, I just got into that. You guys have probably seen it before, but the pyramids is it Karakoram in Tartaria? You must have seen them on the maps. The really tall looking pyramids.
Yeah.
It's supposedly
the Ethiopian pyramids.
Yeah, and supposedly where they buried their emperors under there.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure.
Have you looked into the pyramids that the Russians were building back sort of 10 years ago?
I missed the last half of your video, Luke. I didn't see that part. Now I'm fascinated. I don't know if I've seen these before. Campbell, do you have one of it?
Because we did we touched on the pyramids in, I don't know what show
on
one of the shows I was on, and the Russians were building these pyramids, and they were
pyramids was on the solstice. It was our solstice episode.
Yeah, and they were saying, and they worked out that like a certain it was all on the angles of the top of the pyramid, and some of them water wouldn't freeze inside them. Some of them, food would stay good for extended periods. Some of them would make seeds sprout faster and stronger, and all these different properties.
They apparently could put razor blades inside, and it would sharpen the razor blade.
Wow, all this stuff. So it would make sense that if it's an energy thing that you might bury a king under there, right? But I mean, it would be a specific.
Well, weirdly, there was I can't remember which religion this comes from, but Enki and stuff, and they were talking about apparently they would go into hibernation, like regeneration chambers,
Right, I believe
like,
that.
and they'd say that they'd go in for 100 years, and he specifically said that whilst I'm in there, my body reincarnates as a normal human, and then after my body's ready, I return to it.
Wow.
I believe that. That's wow, right? Like,
imagine if the ones that they show
have
us.
you seen the ones like that they've videotaped and leaked, like out of Persia, Iran, that supposedly are some of the demigods, whatever, like ain't the ones with the crazy beards and that are bigger, and like they're pinching the flesh, and it still looks like they have their flesh in them.
Oh, I have seen that, I think, and it's like they look almost mummified, and they've got the crown on and stuff.
Right, like it's in like these caverns full of like gold and like almost like some Egyptian-looking mummified stuff. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think where I saw chambers.
Yeah, there's a couple that show it. Some Russian channels. I think Vlad9 got hold of it, and then I forget what other ones, but it's out there. It's fascinating as heck. I should actually look that up next. But first, though, where are those pyramids you were just speaking of in this area?
Can we see them on this one? It's called So
you might need a different map.
Magog is there. It should be called either Mount Alisay or Belgian. Sometimes it's called Belgian. But I do have. I know what
is it called?
One sec. So the area is called either Karakoram, Mount Alisay, or Belgian. Sometimes it's called, and it should be to the west of Gog.
Oh, God.
Is that it there? Oh, try it to the east of Gog. Is that it? Mount Ephathay. So I think on those hills, you can't really see them. So this map's not got them, but it should be around there.
You need one that shows the town.
Yeah, I've got a map here, but davidrumsey.com's not loading for some reason. But
it's because you're working on a potato.
It knows we want to see it. There's loads.
I've got heaps.
Mar de Tartaria at this point. Mar de Tartaria.
The Tartarian sea. And I was just looking
Tartaria.
Is Tenduk on that one?
Deserte.
The desert. Oh no, that's like where you go after you've had dinner, isn't
it? Muscovy on this side, still and Tartary on this side.
And then you've got Little Tartary as well there, just where Crimea is.
Yeah.
Just above there, yep.
And you know how we were talking about the pyramids before and putting kings in them and Enki in that? The etymology of the word bury is, it starts off, to raise mound, to hide in clothes. So it's not really to put under the ground. It's just to enclose in a grave or tomb. And then down here, what does it say? To protect... from burger, to protect, shelter, conceal, to preserve. And then it's also linked to berg, which is means it's a hypothetical source of evidence to lend, to be surety for, to preserve, to guard. So
why wouldn't this be called
and it's also
the Ottoman Empire at this point, right? Like, what era is this that you have Turkey and it's not labeled and Turkis is up here, Turkey's up there, and we have Anatolia and Greece on this side.
Yeah, that's where Greece is.
Right? Like, Turkey's where Greece is.
I think, that's really weird, because obviously that should be
not the Ottoman Empire.
Go to the northeast.
What is the map? And see, this is the other thing. If they're all from source maps, some of these maps could be hundreds of years apart.
1674. So this is French, I believe.
So Roy is the king. Yeah, the Grand Continent, the Geograph, ordinary.
1684 or .684.
And these have all got that problem with it, which we still have, right, with the tropics.
Empire de Mogul, India.
Oh, look at that. India's split in two. What's the bottom bit? See that line going through it?
Well, it depends, because obviously in the history, Tamerlane apparently took India for the empire in like the 1350s, 1360s, something like that.
Yep.
And wait, what date is this? Sorry, 1670 something, because that also means that in
84, yeah.
Okay, so in 1644, the Siberian Tatars came to China, and I can't remember which dynasty they're listed as, but they're the one after the Kings, I think, King dynasty.
Okay.
So whichever's after that.
Well,
but yeah, they're really the Tartarians that come from here, and they went south and took over Beijing in 1644.
Okay, that's weird, because then if you go further back, like China used to be part of Tartaria.
Well, yeah, Tamerlane took over China as well in the 14th century, so they've not had much luck.
No, is that why they built a big wall?
Well,
because that wall seems to have been built, around that time, right? 16 to 1700s.
Look at how far down this goes. It's the whole mountain range down. Okay, going in, separating.
So if you go just northeast from here and have a look if there's a place called Tenduk.
It's east as it goes.
Yeah, I think it's missing. So Tenduk disappears at some point in this century, but it is right near that city of Tartar. Now Tenduk's really important because it's apparently the city that Prestige that. Now he was the original one that was oppressing them before Genghis Khan took over, and that was the first unification of the empire. So this guy Prestige John was controlling the whole thing from this northeast corner.
Huh.
And so the maps again I went through today, I've got a big translation of one of them, and it goes into how like it was a Christian country from 1290, and it seems like Christianity has actually come from the east rather than the west.
Well, and you still got Mog and Gog, right? Like,
oh, and look there, by the way, look at that little lake. Look at that lake just to your left, going with this whole pyramid thing. That lake is called, it's a bit changed now, but it was Lake Anubis.
Nice.
And right in the center of Gog and Magog, like, and like, what is this lake city?
Yeah, well, Magog is another river there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Magog is actually an interchangeable word with Mongol. So you've got
Mongol and Mogul.
So, and Gog is replaced for Ung. So sometimes you'll see UNG, Ung. That's like Gog. So that's the same word. And then Magog is Mogul.
And they're of course the secret club names of Bush Senior and Junior. And was it? It was. I can't remember which one. I think it was Gog, wasn't it? There was a giant on England when it was.
Yeah, well, that's Gog Magog.
Oh, it's both. Yeah, okay, it's both Gog Magog. Yeah,
which is even more interesting because if you look at pictures, he looks like a giant ginger. Yeah, and Brutus. So the Welsh folklore says that Britain was originally inhabited by giants. And when I've been going through a lot of stuff to do with that comet video, there was a lot of annotations to Britain being built by giants. And we've obviously got the Giant's Causeway in Ireland.
I can't remember the word. It started with A, wasn't it?
What was that?
The name for
Albion.
Albion.
Or Albany afterwards. So Albion was two people. One in mythology, he was an actual Titan giant. His body makes up Britain, so he is Britain himself. Then the other, which is the official history, which is that he was an Assyrian king that came over to Britain in about 1600 BC, and they named it after him. So King Albion, they called it Albany. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because we've got an Albany here in WA. Nice. I didn't think of that.
The Caspian Sea is different at this point too, and it's whether the French just has it copied of the old map and like doesn't have accurate at this point, and this was pre-reset size, or was it actually that size at that point in time?
I mean, that looks a little more accurate.
A little bit more accurate than
the others, because all the ones I've been looking at today show it going to west.
A lot more, right? Yeah.
And the lakes and seas seem to keep changing after the ocean, inundation or whatever it was.
Well, definitely just the water change over. Sorry.
Did you want me to bring up David Rumsey, Luke? Like, have you got a certain
if you can bring it up, because I think we should be able to find one. All Rare Maps, I think, has them as well. I've got a few links, but they're all on my phone, so.
Yeah, Campbell, if you want to take over at any point, go for it.
You can put them in.
In this chat here.
The chat, the private chat,
Oh, the only thing is I'd have to open Discord on my computer, and this potato can only
Have you got the private chat tab on the side
Candle.
of StreamYard? See on the right hand side there?
Yeah, he's posted in the private chat already.
You should just be able to drop a link in there.
Yeah, I'll
If
have
not,
a
I can
peek
search
now.
for
But
it.
he's got to open his Discord to be able to find it. Is his problem? So
Okay, the links are in Discord. Oh, sorry, I got you.
Yeah, I just don't want to test my
Alright.
fucking computer's limits.
Yeah,
So.
we might lose
sure.
you.
Yeah,
And
good
then you'll be
point
all alone
there,
on
Luke. Right,
Saturday
like
night,
this
man.
is one
Yeah,
where
east to west.
What's
it
the map
goes.
called?
Okay, right. So I will find one of
Yeah,
them for
Spain
you.
goes way further east here.
It's
more
like,
west.
ooh, I can find a good one actually. It's
Oh God, now my computer's not. What are you doing?
So
computer?
modern day, where are those pyramids? Like what modern day, what country are those?
well, this is the thing. No fucking clue. They've changed the names of
Am I dropping out?
everything. Some lakes are called Cathay that just disappears. And one sec, I'll find this this thing for you. So one of the maps is called like Magna Sea Chat something. I'll find it.
Oh my God. Okay, let me try another server. Now my computer doesn't want to open any tabs either. What the hell?
I don't know if David Rumsey's having its own issues, but
yeah, I'll try it on a different server. If not, I'll go to Rare Maps.
I think
I
think this one
Okay, we'll try Rare Maps.
has it. This one kind of has it, but they're not the best. This is a Rare Maps one, and it's called Tartaria Sieve Magni Chami Imperium. So if you just put Tartaria in, you should be able to find it. It's from 1638, so that should help.
1638 Silv Magna Chami Imperium.
Yeah, that's the one.
That one.
Yep, that one's got it on. They're not as detailed as the other one that's not loading from David Rumsey, but
all right,
still.
Yeah, David Rumsey. Yeah, it looks like he's offline or something.
It's probably because we're all making videos about his website and he keeps having to upgrade his servers.
I know, right? I was just thinking before, man. We need to like contact him and get a kickback, man. Sending all this traffic his way. Can you see that?
Yeah, so if you move up now, you can just see above the Belgian bit there is Karakoram. To the right a bit. And zoom in. You're on it then. No, up more.
Cafe.
Left now. There you go. You just went over it. Zoom in now. You're almost done it. Look at all the little spikes.
This?
Yeah, that's it. So they're the pyramids. Again,
yeah, right.
the pictures aren't brilliant, but they are literally a little
different to the hills for sure. Yeah.
I'll try and find a better one. The actual pyramids. They are pyramids. And that bit there on the left, it says the Albe Mountain next to it. That's where the Tartarian emperors are buried, right there.
This one here.
Yeah, that's where it just says it there.
Region Tartaria. Yeah, sepulchre. Okay, yeah.
Oh wow! So this is in Russia then. This is all Siberian Russia that this area is,
which is now
and like the least populated area. Like, who knows? This could still be going on. Like, there could be people living there. You could still have.
One of the weirdest things is you see that map, that bit where it's encircled, where it said the Belgian bit. I saw a map that said the old kingdom of Tartaria is buried under there, whatever that means.
Oh, look at this city. Look at that. Wilki Nurigrad. Sorry, I'm jumping maps.
Sorry, I'm going back through the comments now, finally paying attention to them. Got a request from Shem Tartarian Truth asking Ancient Historia. Luke, can you share what you know about the Tartarian language a bit more, please? And yeah, you've done a couple of good videos showing it actually being spoken and talking about the Soviet Union and I think it was even modern day Russia oppressing their usage of that language.
They definitely did.
Well, okay, so there's a few ways to view that. Now, obviously, you've got the Tatarstan language that is currently still used, the one that was shown on the video. That seems to be a much more simplified version of the Tartarian language, because you guys have probably seen that old clipping. I can't remember where it's from. It's one of the that said it had 202 letters like the Ethiopian language. So the modern Tartarian is similar to English, if not the same. So, in terms of how many letters it's got. So there's 170 characters missing from this supposed other language. So that means we've got something apparently related to Ethiopia in terms of size, which could mean that there's some kind of Ethiopian connection there. Especially when you consider there are stories of the Ark of the Covenant going to Ethiopia, which means remnants of the tribes of Israel. And as we know, the tribes of Israel also went to Tartaria. So there is a possibility it's some kind of Ethiopian. But then you go into the Welsh remnants, which is if you follow the Etruscan line of languages, it basically is modern day Welsh. And you can even decode Egyptian hieroglyphs using the Welsh.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, Martin's spoken about that a few times.
That's fascinating.
On that, you can learn it. There's a search chiroglyphics, or hard to spell, but you'll find it. And there's a dude that's called Britain's Hidden History Ross, and he wrote a book all about this. So there's two ways to look at this that are interesting, because this is a whole conspiracy in its own. So one is that the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, were speaking Welsh and making hieroglyphs. So that means everyone was speaking Welsh, and Welsh hasn't changed since then. So that, it sounds amazing at first, but it's a little too good to be true. Because, thousands of language hasn't changed. What are the chances that you could, what are the chances that you could decode these ancient hieroglyphs? So I think that actually points to it being like a forgery.
Yeah, could be.
Because if you were a British person and you were tasked with forging hieroglyphs, so you knew they had to make sense, because you need to be able to go, oh, here it says Ramesses and here it says Cleopatra. So you'd go, how are we going to do this? So we'll use the Welsh language. No one fucking speaks Welsh,
Yes.
So
very good.
Okay. Yeah, so you're saying that maybe that connection was made up, and they've used Welsh as a way to interpret.
Because the way that it works is it's pictograms. So the way it is like, for example, a line.
Come back, Luke.
Oh shit!
Luke,
you lost me.
Use the force.
No, yeah. So you have like a lion, which in Welsh would be Lulu, like Lu, and that is where you take that from. So that's your L. Do you get me? So it works in pictograms, but using the Welsh instead of the English. So because Welsh and English use the same alphabet, if you're a British person, you'd be able to do that. And then that'd work, because you'd be able to go, here it says Ramesses, here it says that. So that's why if you look at when they're decoding Egyptian hieroglyphs, they'll say, this means D, but it can also mean S. Right, but if you use Welsh, none of that happens anymore, and it all makes sense. Again, what are the chances? What are the chances that the ancient Egyptians were walking around speaking modern day Welsh and drawing the pictures on the walls, meaning Welsh? It's ridiculous.
Not into it. Have you come across? Obviously, you've looked into King Arthur a bit. Have you come across the letter of him and Makeda talking about King Arthur being in the North Pole?
I've never heard that theory, no, but I've done quite a bit of King Arthur. The thing is that, if anything, there seems to be a lot of King Arthurs.
Well, yeah, definitely. I don't think it was one person. I think it's more like, it was probably just what is Arthur? All these words, right? We get Arthur, and I mean, that could just mean, male king or something. We don't know, right? So King Arthur could just be a term of royalty rather than an actual.
Well, as well, you've got to remember that people in those days love to take other people's names. You fancied someone as a hero, you'd be like, I'm Adonis, you know, or
I'm
that's how it
Spartacus.
worked. Literally, though, that's it. So they'd adopt someone's name, especially if it was an older family name. If there was someone in your family that's famous and you reckon yourself as the next one of them, you're like, oh yeah, I'm an Arthur. I'm an Arthur, damn right. And we know that there was at least 2 Arthurs in the Welsh line. So there was one that was around in about the 350s to 400s, and then there was another one that was around in the 5 to 600s.
Yeah. Yeah, but and the other thing is, you know, and especially in royal families, they tend to name the firstborn son after the father anyway. So you would literally have a lineage of all these Arthurs, right?
Well, yeah. And then I don't know if you've ever heard about David Ewing Jr. I presume you have. He believes that Arthur is Attila the Hun.
Absolutely.
And he also believes that he's Thor. From
Thor.
Norse mythology.
That's another. I mean, that's and I've got to do more research on it. Have you come across the Oeralinda book?
No.
Oh, you need to look at Oeralinda. It's. Have you noticed? Have you looked at the North Pole much on your maps?
I've only seen it a teensy bit whilst I've been going through the ones I've done, so I haven't.
Because there's this island when you look it up, you'll notice these islands
specific time to it, yeah, Hyperborea and things.
Yeah, well, there's one called Frisia.
Yeah, I've seen that.
There's one called Frisia that appears and disappears, and it eventually just disappears. And then this region in Holland appears called Friesland, and then there's this book, and apparently it's written by the Frisians. It's called the Oeralinda book, and it's supposed to be their story of when they were on this island that sank and they took off to the mainland, and it's the sort of history.
Oh, really?
But it's basically, it's one of the only historical narratives we have from the northern regions. We don't get a lot from up there. And of course, they say it's a fake, but it's literally got its own language and stuff, its own alphabet, you know. And they're like, oh, no, that's a forgery. Yeah, you know. Someone spent their whole life in this forgery so that they could make no money and tell no one who they were. That's how it works.
Yeah, I remember hearing about one dude that apparently broke through and then spent a load of time with them. And then when he came back, they just imprisoned him for being nuts.
Yeah, that was
Friesland right here. And look, it's got all of its cities, towns, inhabited, everything. The book of it that you've read, Campbell, you've got, like, I think it's a 3-part series, just amazing. Like their culture, how it explains, like it's
I don't think I ever finished that series, did I? I think
we should do
I don't think I finished it, so maybe I'll have to
finishing it. It's epic. And like
when
you listen to how it's written, it's like this was a legit, like, culture, proud people that, like, existed through and through. And what happened to them? They were wiped off. And like,
well, the Magi.
When was this?
Magi, the Whisperers, and it's got a lot of interesting links with, you know, their names of their kings and you know, people like Thor, right, and all these kind of Nordic gods. And they also talk about building, you know, big sea walls and big, you know, star-shaped sort of cities.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So and of course it's, you know, not even touched on by history, because they just go, no, that's a fraud. Sorry, it doesn't match in with our story, so it's clearly fake, because we know everything.
I'm going to try and find, see if I can find this map that I had on my video today, because I've got this entire description here. And there's one thing that I found really interesting. And it's near, you've seen it before, haven't you? You know, in the northeast corner of Tartaria. You must have seen Arzareth at some point. But near there's a place with these people called the Nephilites. So, and I found that really interesting because, you know, Nephilim, Nephilites.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be tribes of Israel. And it also says, and after the Danites, and it called them the Danes of the Dark North.
Right. So, and that it's right next to Gog and Magog, like crucial parts.
And also the other thing, hang on. Have you seen the maps where literally Hyperborea connected to Tartaria, right to that region where we were looking at, where it's called Gog and Magog?
It's absolutely crazy. I didn't get how the land changes this much.
the land has changed. So what am I looking for? That one, Shape of the Realm. What have I got here?
Lower than we think, though, and it's like, you know.
That's a good one. Oh my god.
See, okay, this bit confuses me as well. So if you look on the right here of Azareth, for example, if you look at modern day maps, that's supposed to continue into, you know, way further of Siberia, which is, you know, you say, oh, well, they didn't know that that piece existed. But surely the people that were living on that fucking coast knew that they were living on the coast. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's not like there was fog in front of them because they hadn't discovered that before, you know? So they, oh, that's just, could have been anything. They know what it is. They live on the coast. So how the hell do they get it confused with an area that's supposed to be land?
Yeah.
Right, and right on like the tip of this crucial part. And look at Japan right now. Wow, they have no idea what any of this area looks like.
And yet they go and ruin it by having even America there. So they clearly knew stuff was there. So you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, right.
So how
and what are these cities? What are these towns up here? What are these like little castle fort areas in America on the north of America? You know that there's something up here, but you don't know what Japan looks like?
So this map, actually, this is the one that I've got all the translations for. So anywhere here, I can tell you what it says pretty much.
Oh.
Amazing. How about all of it?
Okay, so okay, we'll start then. We'll start with go to the top. You scroll to the top of this map, just the right there. Yeah, just there. So you see it. Oh, now we're all over there where it says Nephilites or whatever. Just to the right a little bit, up that tip. Yeah, other side. There you go. So it says the Nephilites are named Neptali after one of the 10 tribes with a Hebrew name, and after the Danites, who by way of punishment were called the Danes of the Dark North. And it also says in the year 476, they were victorious in their battle against Perosa, and others call them incorrectly the Euthalites. So that's what that says.
Euthalites. As in Y-O-U-T-H. It's like, so as in like people who don't age fast.
E-U-T-H-A-L-I.
Oh, okay. Ether. Wow. Man, I've got so many maps. When you want to find a map, you just cannot find the right one, can you? It's just shocking.
And then that, you know, the ocean just below it actually says the Scythian Ocean, according to Plinius, has sweet water. And he also says it contains many islands. So sweet water.
So fresh water.
And then just beneath that, if you scroll down a little bit, keep going just a little bit more. There you go, Tabor there. So right there it says Tabor or Tiber, center of the area of the Tartars, where once the holy books got lost, yet they are united under one king who in 1540 first reached France and King Franciscus, and later, at the initiative of Charles V, was burned at the stake for his heresy because he had secretly endeavored to convert Christian kings to the Jewish religion. So,
wow.
Yeah, saying the holy books got lost there, apparently.
The holy books, yeah. Have you heard of the Colburn Bible?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, because that's the thing. There's there's tons of old books and even a lot of old what are called Bibles. You know, we're just only given the one edited version and told, no, that's all there ever was. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you can imagine. They said, "Oh shit, we've lost the holy books," and the Catholics were like, "No worries, we've got you. We remember it."
Yeah, it's like, burn it.
Yeah, we have a super chat. Chaz G, $2 shout out. Thank you. Where can I get a link to this map and the definitions?
So the best way
if you want to find it,
you reckon?
It's just Google the name map. So the name's on the right. So if you Google the Latin name, that's the best way to find it.
Up a bit from Rare Maps.
That bit. Yeah.
And you can just search and you just keep searching and put your years in there if you want. And the other one, it's not working at the moment, but it's David Rumsey, RUMSEY.com. And same thing, you just go in there and search for whatever region you're looking for, time frame.
Now, this map still has some really cool stuff. So if you go to where Azareth is, we'll carry on with this.
Azeroth.
There you go, Azareth. You just at the top of that one to the right.
Right up there where, there's a land bridge to Hyperborea, and that's where the Tree Vigicil and the Dark Elves live, right?
This one says, here the 10 tribes retreated and changed from the Tatar or Tartar area to Scythia. Since then, they are called the Goths or the Gothans, confirming God's highest glory. And here lies the splendid kingdom of Cathay. So
nice. Okay, and Cathay is what became China.
Well, apparently, but you can see Cathay's there and China's right beneath it.
North. Mm.
Yeah. So what's interesting as well is that they're called Goths. It's spelt differently, but I don't know if you remember.
Does that mean they all went around with
who sacked Rome? Well, that was the Visigoths, and so
black under their eyes stuff, and listen to The Cure.
I think that might be somebody else.
Oh,
but
God, I thought I knew what
they might have had similar music tastes, but but then right beneath it at Argon, it says
Argon. I'm like, this is. Are you sure this isn't a Tolkien map?
So this one, it says, once there was in Asia. Oh, in fact, you know what? Saying that, there's actually a place here called Summon Gull. Now, if that doesn't sound like Mordor, I don't know if it's on this one. Yeah, really? But there is one place. Yeah. But anyway, so Argon said, once there was in Asia a Christian kingdom known to Prester John, and D. Thomas founded it in this place, so that it was in contact with the Church of Rome and was subjected to Rome through Prester John of Africa. Before it was defeated, it was known as Crive Remove.
Oh, sorry. Did you just cut out?
I think I must have cut off. Where did you get me?
Yeah, we lost. Pretty much redo that one part. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay, so it says, Did you get, there was a Christian kingdom. So here in Asia, there was a Christian kingdom known to Prester John. And it was here subjected to the Church of Rome through Prester John of Africa. Before it was defeated by the Goths, it was known as Crive Remove.
Crive?
Crive, like Crive, and then Romove, like Romove.
Romove?
Yeah. So again, it's really interesting because I don't know if it's obviously referring to the actual Rome or if it's trying to say that there was another Crive Remove that got defeated.
Ah, okay. So that's
by Goths.
So does Romanov mean from Rome? Is that what Romanov means? That they're from Rome?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty certain.
So the rules.
Well, no, it's Romani. Romani is
from Rome.
Sorry, Romani is Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
Romanov, though, could be just the Russian version, couldn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what it sounds like.
100% it is.
Roam if you want to. Roam around the world, right?
Well, the thing is, as well, is you got to remember that Constantinople was actually the center of the Roman Empire for most of it, and then the Greek Empire. So, and it was called Rome upon the Bosphorus. So when they talk of Rome, are they talking about Constantinople?
Rome, yeah. Well, you look at Rome in the 1800s, and it was destroyed. It was just
it was buried. Like after they destroyed it, did they go, "Come on, lads, come on, let's be fucking clean, let's get digging."
Let's dig it out quickly.
Right.
And that's probably why it became the capital, right? It got buried, and so it didn't get destroyed through all the walls. And then they're like, "Oh,
maybe that was it. They were eco warriors. They were just eco warriors. They were like, no, put it back in the.
They were just into history, man. They were just preserving the history. Yeah, man.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think that there's a few more as well. Turkestan, which if you go to the left, which is nowadays known as, well, not nowadays, but it was known as Kazaki Tartary. So just up a little bit past Samarkand, just there, Turkestan. So this bit again is really interesting because it says this area is from when the 10 tribes as allies living on this side of the mountain range were called 900 years ago by the Persians to fight the armies of Ishmael the Muslim. Now, Ishmael is Abraham's son, as in the prophet Ishmael.
Wow.
And he's supposed to live in 1600 BC. This says 900 years
900
prior to
years
this
ago.
map. So
So
that means 700 AD. How the hell was Ishmael alive in 700 AD? That's after Jesus. That would mean that
makes, but this, have you looked into that?
Wow.
That the Old Testament is newer than the New
like
Testament?
flamenco stuff, and I was
and you've probably seen
smiling
it
when I saw that,
your
because
research.
it believes that Jesus was actually born in like 1052, isn't he? Sorry.
I was just going to say, when you look at that region, a couple of hundred, in that sort of time, or at least 500
like
years,
these
it's green. It's not a
these
desert,
maps are actually like verifying this entire reset 1,000 years lost, and like, so flamenco essentially, what like flamencos and a lot of people like, this is awesome stuff.
For real.
I mean, and flamenco goes right into that, how the Old Testament is just using, basically it's a historical rewrite, just using historical figures, changing all the names and places and that. And
well, again, going with the flamenco
story.
thing, which really got me, was seeing Ishmael. It just reminded me that there have been texts that have referred to Arthur as Arthmael before, and he has a son that I don't want to say. I'm pretty certain I might have heard an Ithmael, not an Ishmael. And I was like,
that's only because he had a list, though.
Well, imagine.
I mean, maybe he was gay. I don't know.
No, if they're the same person, because David and Jr. decides Islam came from here, doesn't he?
Well, this is, and this is what they do, right? They change the names, they put them in different places.
Exactly.
Pretty much any city you can find, you'll find another city with the same name somewhere else.
And I think they do that as definitely on purpose. But you've just reminded me of something, actually. So Tabor, when I was looking to see if I could find Tabor, it turns out there is another Tabor. It's only a little village or small town in Czechia, and weirdly, I just saw the coat of arms is the double eagle, which is on all of the stuff like Austria-Hungary Empire with the black and yellow. And I was like, what are the chances that these people from Tabor have migrated and now live in that village, and that's why it's called Tabor?
Exactly right. And I mean, that's a good point. Maybe that was a part of all these orphans, right? They just shipped them out and just named the
why
cities.
Does modern day Albania, or not Albania, sorry, the breakaway area, from Siberia or Serbia, the Kosovo, the Kosovo's flag is now the double eagle, and
did they change it?
Well, they're a breakaway region fighting Serbia, and that's what the whole Yugoslavia war was caused by, and it's flaring up again, being provoked because Serbia's allies of Russia, and they're trying to cause more issues by opening another front for war.
The CIA document that says that they were wiping out the Tartarians and all their history, and then I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's an article saying that it was Mr. Putin on the Ritz who was releasing all this Tartarian information and the maps and everything. It's almost like they're sort of building up that whole region and like, stuff you. We're just going back and rebuilding this.
If you look at the top, just follow the Volga River from the Caspian there on the left. So you see that, just follow that little river up, and at the top you can see a place called Bulgar just there under your hand.
Bulgar,
that's Bulgaria, the original Bulgaria.
Really? The original?
Yeah, the original. I found a map where it even had Bulgaria written across there. So when they've got moved on, now they've taken over Bulgaria.
Wrong side of the
That's the original kingdom of that, because they're on the Volga River. Well, that's why it's because it's the Bulgarians.
The Bulgar, right? Makes more sense.
But, so it's the Bulgarians, like the Hungarians, Tatarians, Babarians. They're all Aryans.
They're all Aryans. Everyone's an Aryan.
But that's where it comes from. So they've added the R, And so it's Tatar, for example. So they've added that R, and I thought, wait, what if they've done that with Barbarian as well? So you take that first R out, that gives you Baba-Aryan, Father Aryan Muslims.
Oh,
So
does
they
Baba means
everybody, all races,
yeah,
everyone are ancient Aryans.
And so,
Arab,
does that mean that the
father.
Tartarians
So
are just like
when
the
you follow
easy,
the bulls in actual history?
women? Sorry.
Well, it seems like they're multicultural, but the Baba-Aryans are the hung ones are the ones with the big dicks. Anyway, that's all we know.
Exactly.
But
The hung ones are the ones
that's
with
where
the big
all the
dicks.
women are heading to Hungarian, man. Hungary.
Yeah,
They're hungry
No,
for
but
those Hungarians.
But the Barbarians, for example, so they've turned that into Barbaria, right? So you imagine North Africa to be Muslim because it's come from the Middle East, but it's not, because remember, it was supposedly under control of the Roman Empire. So they were following the north of Africa was part of that, and they were following the Roman stuff. Then when Rome fell, these Goths or Tartarians, or they jumped over the Pillars of Hercules, took over this area of North Africa and settled their capital there, and they became known as the Baba-Aryans. They brought Islam from the north.
Okay.
So the Islam came with them from Germany across Spain and down into North Africa. It didn't come from the Middle East.
Yeah, right.
Right. So this one right here looks like the one,
that landmass,
like
man.
just like the blank copy almost of that one that you were just deciphering of, like they just traced it and then filled this in, and not nearly as much detail, and was done a little bit later, sort of thing, and in a little bit different language, and that they were all tracing these certain ones, and then every so often, 50 years or something, someone would go through and have more updated of like the coasts and the actual
More
terrain and what
stuff,
still exists and whatnot.
That's the thing. It definitely looks like, they were remapping. That they knew that there were lands out there, like Australia and that, but they hadn't found them again, and so they were looking for them, and that's what we see all these books, right? And they sort of turn up, and you get
still green,
the controller type. Yeah, it's all green. Greenland, man. Greenland's
Look,
white.
it's all green. There's rivers through here. Like not that long ago, this whatever it was a lot different.
Yeah, this is the thing, and we don't know the age of the maps, but I'm pretty. It looks like we're talking 500 or 600 years ago. The Middle East and the Sahara were green.
Yeah,
they try and say 20,000. What is it? 11,000 years because of the Sphinx and all this, but and the other point is, when there is water, like plants just start popping up out of nowhere. I mean, would that happen after 10,000 years? Isn't this one the
shape of like Antarctica under the ice of like the two continents or something? Wow. And like, when the heck was this?
I have seen that. Yeah. But I mean, Antarctica.
Thing is, by common science, like apparently it doesn't change, but magnetic north moves by 50 kilometers a year.
And look, what is being covered up? Is there a giant hole here as well? Like the same as those 4 islands in the north going in?
BurnEye. Not like that anyway, I don't think. Who knows? They won't let us go down and look, will they?
Did you see the guy that tried to go to Hyperborea?
Actually, I'm glad you kind of bring that up, because I have an announcement to make. I have an announcement. I am officially a garbage can Earth, because it is both flat and round. Okay, garbage pail
and
Earth.
Slightly conical. Nice. Well, at least you've got the proof there. I mean, that's clear proof.
Exactly.
If someone asks for a model, you're ready.
You've got it. Yeah, man. If someone asks me for a model, I just show them a really hot chick. Sorry. Is that Ryan Zinn that you were talking about, who tried to get up to? He was riding his bike up through Russia or somewhere, and he got arrested.
Yeah. I think
that's the last one I saw. Is he got arrested? Do we know what's happened after that?
I think they just sent him home.
They just sent him home, did they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he came out and did a challenge literally within like 2 months. He's like, bugger it, I'm going to the bloody Hyperborea, and he just took off. What the hell? So Yeah, but it just shows you, you're not allowed up there. Like there's videos of planes. Someone hires a plane and they're like, yeah, let's see how close we can get. And all these jet fighters, come up and they're like, turn around and we're going to blow you out of the sky.
Maybe that's why you need a balloon, just to get under the radar.
Yeah, something non-metal. Well, that's the other thing, right? If they say there's a magnetic mountain and you can't take metal boats or anything up there because it just rips them apart. And so planes as well, obviously.
So I guess you really got to risk it, haven't you, if you're going in a wooden boat?
Maybe that's the Bermuda Triangle. Maybe it's like just in the right spot. So when you're flying, you just get to this magnetic mountain, and when we get there, it's just going to be covered in planes and boats and stuff.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they accidentally dropped the world's strongest magnet and didn't want to tell anyone, because it's really embarrassing. And every now and then a boat's just going over and it goes dunk,
Hyperspeed. But yeah, that's where I think you mentioned before the dude they locked up was Jorgensen. I think it was it Bjorn? No, they're all Bjorn. But Jorgensen, the Smoky God. They basically took a boat up, him and his nephew, from Finland or Norway.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, found a land of giants and lived there for a year and a half. And they mentioned the honey and the milk, the land of milk and honey, and giant fruit and all this stuff. And they're all very nice to them. And yeah, then he comes home and tells someone, and they lock him up for 30 years in a lunatic asylum or something.
You'd think the giants would have warned him. They'd have been like, "Look, mate, we know you've had a great time, but honestly, just keep it to yourself."
Yeah. Come back and see us if you want to, but don't tell anyone.
Exact same story as Admiral Byrd, really.
You should have seen what happened to the last guy that did that. He was called Jesus. I didn't take him well.
You just see a mental asylum full of people that have all been, and it turns out loads of them were going.
It's like that. Have you seen that meme? And it's got like God and Jesus is in the corner just like shaking, and God's like, what did you do to my son when I sent him down there?
Fuck it up. Well, I do like that theory, actually, that we actually have missed God's wrath. He's already done it, We're just here in the afterthought.
Well, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? Looks like, we piss someone off. But I mean, then again, what's God? I mean, I don't think many people think he's a dude with a beard sitting on a cloud. So if God's energy, right, then God's wrath could literally be an electromagnetic discharge or a solar flare, if you want to call it that, or one of these events. And we're living in the aftermath, and the stories we've got are about the pre-time and about we've basically all got trauma, man. We've all been MK altered on a huge, realm-wide scale.
Like, I think if I was God, like, sat up there, I'd just want to come down and like take part, So I'd be livid all the time, I'd be watching people having fun, and I'd be just like, I want to be down there. So maybe that is it. Maybe you just have to get God down here, and he'll chill out a bit.
Maybe he's already here.
Oh, who knows?
Maybe we are God.
It's not me, so is it any of you guys?
We all just a fractal of the original God.
Could be a bit of him in you. Could be a shard in there.
Oh, to be fair, yeah. I've done ayahuasca a few times.
I've seen God. He looks like a
haunting experiences.
I haven't done ayahuasca.
Well, no, I've done.
But I'm not sure. I've
done straight DMT, but I haven't done like the actual ayahuasca drink and stuff.
I still need to do that. Got to go to South America. Get with them.
DMT is something that's just, I can't explain it. So like the first few times, it was kind of what you'd expect, as in I was seeing very nice things like Gaia and God and shit like that. And then one day I had like, they call it a breakthrough, but this was like a breakthrough, and holy fuck, man, I can't even explain this.
Yeah, like, I mean, Well, it's natural.
All I can say, like,
which is interesting that it's natural and it's in there, and it's like a portal, right? It's kind of like oh shit, what's his name? McKenna used to talk about mushrooms being. He was like, oh, if you're an alien race and you want to communicate with someone else, mushrooms, right? When you can talk to them because you go through this portal, So it's like that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's like honestly though, I think it is something you've got to try, because they say it's kind of like death, and I kind of understand the theory on that. So it's the way I understand it anyway is
Death of the self.
your body is kind of like a TV that's tuned in to pick up your spirit, like individually your spirit. So if your TV is on and the spirit is out there, it gets sucked in. So when you die and your body stops sending those waves, your spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, is now unattached, right? So that's why people have near-death experiences, because for a bit their brain is in that mode where, oh, okay, I'm gone, but then it comes back, so they get sucked back in. So DMT does that same thing. It makes your brain act in a way that essentially releases your spirit, almost like death.
That's which is proof, right? We're more than just these.
So it is. It's like you're experiencing death. You will think, I've died. Why did I do this? And then you come back, and it feels like 1,000 years have passed, and you're like, holy fuck! Like, who even am I?
Wow, that's cool, because I mean, we know time doesn't exist. Well,
right?
Like, the time doesn't exist outside the body in the realm. So, but it shows there's a lot more to it, right?
One experience I remember that haunted me was that, like, when I was coming back, one of the first times, I remember seeing like my life, and I had this deja vu feeling of like, oh, I've already done this. Wait, how the fuck have I already done this? And then as I was floating down, I remember thinking like, how do you guys know where to put me in my life? And then I came back in, and I was like, oh, okay, it's okay. I was worried, like, well, what if you put me last week, or what next week, or
right, okay, in the wrong spot. Yeah.
Honestly,
there's a lot more, isn't it? I mean, it's interesting that, if it's a drug that you can get addicted to and doesn't give you an experience and will basically destroy you, if it's heroin or crack or something, the government will sell it to you. But if it's something that can awaken you, that's like the most illegal thing ever, right? If it's
luckily,
DMT,
my government seems to be quite fucking inept, because you can just make it yourself really easily. So I just did a bit of alchemy. Yeah, it was all right. But yeah, you won't get addicted to it. Like, for the first 3 months, I was taking more and more and more, thinking like, oh, this is amazing. Then I had the most horrifying experience of my life, and I didn't touch it for 3 months.
Yeah, it was like,
and then I did it
down.
And then I did it again 2 weeks ago, and it took me straight back to where I was. It was like, hey, buddy. And I was like, fuck this. So,
right? Like, it's impossible like movie, to get physically addicted to psychedelics. Unless
they get more terrifying. They're like, are you sure you want this? Are you sure? And I'm like, okay.
Like, you have to be at a good place in your life mentally and like spiritually and consciously to be able to like handle that experience each time you do it, or it's gonna give you a bad trip and have you having major reflections on yourself that you're not going to be too happy with, and put you in a spot you might need to be, but you don't want to be, and you're not going to keep doing it.
So one thing that's different with DMT to when I've taken other psychedelics is, like, other psychedelics change stuff, but I've never had stuff like move. Whereas when I take DMT, objects start moving, flying about on their own, doing shit, and I see my body dissolve in front of me, and I literally become like a shadow. Person with no body, and fuck is happening?
This is the thing. Like, what it's doing is it just changing the frequency, right? Because this is the thing. This whole realm seems to be one thing, and we've been invaded, and they've told us that it's something else, and we all believe it. So we're literally
we sacrifice our own free will of perception on a daily basis, and it's the mental reset each morning, each day, of remembering who you are and getting to that emotional stable level of then being on that higher vibrational frequency and elevating your consciousness up, instead of getting sucked into that lower negative, like angry or sad, depressed, or just getting caught up in the gears of the machine that is the control system.
Bingo.
That was
11. Sorry.
Very well.
I'm old. All right. I mean, that's that. Oh God, we could take that conversation down
Exactly. But that was
many
just such an
hours of
epic
talking.
1 hour,
Yes.
and we're supposed to be joining Beegs over
When are we supposed
almost
to
an
be joining
hour
Big?
ago now. Oopsies. If
You told me
there's
we had
no-
2 hours. Have you double
I
booked
thought we
me?
did too. I don't know what happened.
I told you it was 9. Live
I'm
now.
so
Oh my
confused.
God. See what you've done to me.
But he's live now, so we should go over.
Right,
Luke,
sweet.
if you want to join us, I posted the
Yeah,
link
feel
in
free to
the
come across,
private
please.
chat. So feel free to
So,
come on.
have we got the
Beegs
link,
for a little
Bernie? Do
bit.
you want to drop? Hang on, I'll find.
I
the
posted
link.
in the private chat as
Oh, you
well.
did?
Good Campbell.
No, is that for the actual show? Because everyone has to come
For
across
the
how to stuff
actual
Beagle.
show.
Everyone
Right
come
here, I will
across
post in the live chat for everybody.
stuff Beagle. There
Kaboomy.
it is.
There is the Beegs show we are about to go on to.
He's been live for an hour, man.
I know.
I told you this, Bernie. I told
I
you.
thought
like,
you
nah,
said
man,
like
2
I
hours.
don't know.
2
I'm so
hours.
confused.
I'm blaming it all on you.
Right, thank you for having me on, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Wait,
Yes, and we have to do this again, Luke. Maybe Monday night your time. If you want to come on our next one too, we'd be happy to talk some more Tartaria with you.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, and we'll go through some of your maps a bit, hopefully.
And actually,
yeah,
before we go, I quickly have to show some Antiquitech principles being tested by my good friend Matthew Rife, and harvesting atmospheric electricity.
Matthew Rife, of course, the nephew of the great Royal William Royal Rife. Is that right? Royal Rife.
Royal Raymond Rife's great like nephew or something. Great nephew or something along.
Great nephew, I think. He could be an awesome nephew, or maybe I don't know, run of the mill nephew, but we'll call him great.
I muted myself. Oh, that's hilarious. Sorry. All right. How long have I been muted? Probably a little bit. Royal Raymond Rife's nephew, and this is pretty awesome. Kaboomy with the drone taking one of his star coils up.
Oh yeah, this was cool.
And this they did it again yesterday. This was filmed and uploaded yesterday. Matt and his partner Hunter here.
Not that Hunter.
Good healing Hunter. Good
healing Hunter. Good. Free energy Hunter.
Indeed.
And so what he's doing here is he's got a drone and he's got a coil hanging underneath it, and that
and
coil
this time wearing thick leather gloves to not get shocked like the first time they did it.
And it's got power source. It's just got a wire hanging down connected to a voltmeter, and they're just showing the voltage they're getting just from being up in the atmosphere, proving that there is free energy up there.
Exactly, and that all you need is a little conductivity wire between. And also with the spires, the cathedrals, all of that, they also, to increase that differential, could have easily connected a balloon up to a wire to the tip of the spire to get even more so and amplify the amount they had going. So it's
I tell you what, if you got it up, you should go on my channel. There's a post, there's a church that I found that when I changed the edited the stuff on it, you could see electricity going into the spire at the top.
Really?
Yeah, if you go on my channel, there's pictures on there of this church. It's on the community tab.
Oh, okay, like in the
in the community
what would happen. Yeah, I've never thought of that. If anyone's ever put like one of these buildings in Photoshop and played with the saturation and that to see if
that's what I did. So
that's what you were doing?
One there, So go on that church. Go on that church you just went past. Scroll up. You see that? Click that, and then on the next image, you'll see what happens to the top of the church. So scroll through the images and you'll see what happens. Look, and then go on the next one.
Oh, wow.
The next one, I turn it blue and you'll see it even more.
Straight to the spire. Look at that. Wow. There you go, guys. Free energy is real. Don't listen to the government. Awesome. All right. Well, we better go and save B, or else he's going to yell at us. He's doing this stream, and God,
No worries.
maybe not turn up.
I would come over, but I think I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's like 2 a.m. where you are, so we'll catch you on another stream.
But anyway,
thank you very much. And everyone, make sure you to Ancient Historia. Give him some likes, a subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Share it around, and all that awesome stuff. And come and join us on Beegs with a mud flooding super special. It's supposed to be a flash mob, so I think we're going to have to just bomb him and start singing and dancing, BurnEye, to make up for our horrendous mistake.
Right. Thanks anyway, guys. I'll see you later.
Cheers, Luke. Take it easy, mate. We'll see you soon.
Love you, Luke. Much love. Catch you on the next one.
We will see everyone in chat. Thank you all. 450 of you still watching. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you all over on Beegs.
Oh, and one more time, I'm going to post Beegs stream.
Nobody wins unless everybody wins.
That's right. All righty.
Oh.
Oh, you stopped it.
I did. Hit it one more time.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.